The 10 most affordable cities to retire in the U.S. Now, these are cities, okay? These are cities that have over 100,000 population. There are obviously smaller towns you can retire in that would probably be a lot cheaper than this, like where I am in the desert, high desert, Southern California. But these are the 10 most affordable cities in the U.S. and in no particular order. Number 1, Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City, right in the middle of the United States. Big enough city where you have sports teams. You have a lot of stuff to do there, okay? Very affordable. A lot of these cities in the Midwest are very affordable. Not like the coastal cities, not like New York, LA, San Francisco, right? Great places to go, but to live there, very expensive. Oklahoma City. Knoxville, Tennessee, another city, a little bit south of that, but home of the University of Tennessee. As I've mentioned in videos, in another video, the best college towns to retire in. This can be considered a college city. Lots of stuff to do, as with all college towns, right? I mean, you've got culture, you've got the SEC as far as football goes. It's just like a zoo behind me today with all these cars. I thought I'd be out on my own. But everything a large college offers, you can get in Knoxville, Tennessee. Also, lower cost of living. You know, nice weather, not completely humid, like say if you go way to the south of Alabama or something, but can be humid in the summer. Number 3, Fort Wayne, Indiana. Right in the heart belt of the U.S. Again, much more cheaper cost of living than if you go to the coast. Fort Wayne, Indiana, great place. Smaller on the city side, but you know, you've got Four Seasons. You've got Hoosier basketball, not University of Indiana. It's not in Fort Wayne, but Indiana is just the hotbed of like high school basketball, right? So sports is a big emphasis there. There's a lot of farming going on there. So anything, again, in the middle of the U.S., you know, we're talking about Rocky Mountains, east to maybe Kentucky-ish, a lot cheaper than the coast. Rochester, New York. Now, again, a smaller city, very affordable, but one thing you have to watch out for here is if you don't like the cold weather, they get a lot of snow in the winter. So it's up to you, you know, but it's a big enough city where it's not a totally small town where there's a lot of stuff to do. You can do whatever you want. Retirement communities, you know, you've got downtown where you can go out and do all kinds of stuff. Not like a very limited small town like where I live, where there's not much to do. So there you go, Rochester, New York. Number 5, Phoenix, Arizona. Big city, lots of stuff to do. Big heat in the summer. If you're not up for the summer heat, Phoenix, man, doesn't get much hotter than that. You know what? These little flies are starting to bite me all over the place. What's up with this? It's supposed to be the high desert. You don't get little biting flies. Phoenix, tons of stuff to do. Great food in Phoenix, southwestern culture. But the heat. Now, if you're okay with that, you're okay with staying inside all day long during the summer months, going out at night, early morning, okay, Phoenix could be a good place for you. Albuquerque, New Mexico, another place in the Midwest, South Midwest, but similar kind of weather to Arizona, although it is up a little bit higher. So you're not going to get that extreme heat that you would in Phoenix. Hey, we got fighter jets going over. All right. Not going to get that extreme heat as you do in Phoenix, but Albuquerque, southwestern culture, large enough city that you can have your choice of what to do. And again, it doesn't cost much. The housing is down, the rates. The cost of living is down. But one thing to remember in New Mexico in general, they do have a little bit higher poverty rate. Okay, which means also they have a little bit higher crime rate. Now, it's not completely out of control, but that's something to consider. what is this thing, man? It's like the stealth bomber gone the opposite. It's like blasting my ears out. Number 7, Kansas City, Missouri. Another big city that is affordable. And what you got here is you've got Kansas City sports, Kansas City Chiefs. If you're an NFL fan, and they go crazy for that stuff in Kansas City. You've also got Kansas City barbecue. Ooh, yum, yum, man. Lots of good stuff to eat. You've got the Four Seasons there. You've got those. If you're anything like me, I'm like a wannabe storm chaser. The thunderstorms in the spring and the summer. Now, tornadoes, yeah, that's a little out of control. But just to see those big thunderbolts coming down, you know, I mean, just the thunder just, I'd love to go there. I'd love to go there and live. Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Now, here is a city, but, you know, you're in the part of the country that obviously is very cheap, but is there much to do there? South Dakota as a whole, nah, not really that much, right? But you've also got cold winters, so you have to be able to handle that. But it is a large enough city where there are options. When you get into small towns like where I retired to, there aren't that many options. A city this size, you'll still have options. You'll have stuff to, you know, different places to eat, different places to entertain yourself. And that cost of living is lower. Lincoln, Nebraska. Big Red, baby. University of Nebraska football. Doesn't get more collegiate than that, right? Lincoln, Nebraska, right in the heart of the country. I mean, down-to-earth people, a lot of farming going on there. But at the same time, it's a big enough city where you're going to have cars like this going all over the place where I thought I was going to be pretty isolated. Sorry, guys. Hey, at least you got the beautiful Eastern Sierras behind me. Lincoln, Nebraska, great place to live. Smaller city, cheaper. You know, if you don't mind, again, the winters can be a little harsh. You know, not as if you're living in Minnesota, but they can be kind of harsh. But great place if you want cheap cost of living. Number 10, Lexington, Kentucky. Now, horse country, beautiful country. I mean, green, rolling hills. You got the University of Kentucky there. Basketball, man, the Blue Bloods. Big enough city where there's a lot of stuff to do. But again, the cost of living is down. Cost of living is cheaper than it is, say, in Nashville. So consider it. You know, consider any of these 10 affordable cities. Or you might even prefer smaller towns. It's up to you. But again, if you stay in these cities, the options are much greater in what you can do on an affordable budget. So there you go, guys. Goodbye from the Eastern Sierra. Hope you weren't annoyed too much by the traffic, but it is what it is. Just remember, we got this.